We going, huh? We going. We going. We going. Well, just finished up the second day of tryouts this morning. I'm always pretty nervous after the first one. Just because you never know how many kids are gonna show up that first day. But we had a pretty good showing and a pretty good amount of my returning kids and my varsity kids. I think only about half of the varsity kids showed back up today. And you know what? I gotta keep reminding myself, if they wanted to be there, they would. And the ones that didn't show up, I guess they don't want to be there. They want to be there when it's time to play matches and stuff, but, So, and again, I also had another reflection that it's just a thing for something. It's not for some of them. It's not really an obsession as much like it is for us coaches we played a lot and then we've been coaching longer, and so hopefully we can form 3 teams and the kids can have a good time, and I'm really down to give more opportunities this year, to be honest. And with the hopes that it'll keep everybody a little more hungry and on their toes, and when they know that maybe their position and their spot is not locked in, and that it's something you gotta battle for constantly each day. And if it starts with just putting the kids in that are showing up to practice the most, then so be it. But it was fun. It was fun today. I made him dive a bunch. One kid didn't keep his chin up and popped it open a little bit, which is a volleyball situation. And that kid was on the outside looking in, and maybe I've moved him almost to the bubble, and maybe he'll be the 15th of 15, and he won't. But kid seems to ask some okay questions and try relatively hard, even though he has really no idea what's going on. But we'll see. We will see. I'm just excited to get these tryouts over with and get the whole paperwork situation going and over with, which is a super laborious situation. But at the end of the day, I also got to remember they can't play unless they do their paperwork. So I think I'm not going to stress out about it as much today, this season, and just let them figure out until they get their paperwork done. They can't participate in any of the matches, and that'll just be what it'll be. So 2 tryouts down. I've got 3 more on the books, and then probably another 5 more across the next couple weeks, and then I'll make teams and go to the lake for a vacation and come back and do our season. And just keep reminding myself that it's supposed to be fun for me, and that it's supposed to be fun for the kids, and try and make those 2 worlds collide. That'll make the parents happy. I think if the parents can see, but I've always tried to get the kids in every match, and if that means you go in and you don't touch the ball but you're on the court, that means you've gone in, and that usually helps keep the parents at bay. And these people are walking down the middle of the street. Hopefully they're walking towards the sidewalk. I'm not sure what this is all about. I don't know. It's cultural, man. I guess you could just walk in the street anytime you want in India. Yeah. And I've been thinking about just because I've been thrust into this situation. Now I've got 3 kids, and it's so time demanding. And I've thought about just dropping one of my volleyballs, but I mean, the one that makes more sense for me is to stop being the head coach of the program and just assist with the girls, because I don't have to do a ton of managerial and paperwork, and I have 3 daughters, and they will play girls volleyball potentially one day. And so my boys dropping the boys side makes more sense for me and our family, but just the thought of dropping it, I don't want to do it yet. I know the sacrifice it takes, but I'm not ready to be done with it yet, and I still enjoy it. And it's something I'm passionate about, and it's a different passion. It's a little more egotistical, but I'm starting to realize it can be changed. You can morph it into different ways, and also it's like that's a big move that I kind of need to have someone in line to take over if I am gonna step away. And so I'm pretty fortunate this year that I've got my 2 lower level coaches. One guy was a head coach of a program for 2 years, and the other guy is super young and I think could be a great leader of the program, and I already think he already is doing well, but he's just so young, and he's gonna travel and stuff, and so I just don't know where that meets with taking over this thing at this point. And at 21 or 22, I don't think I would want to do that quite yet. I was 30 when I took over, and I think Hughes was 38, or it was about my age I am now when he took over. No, that's not true. It must have been about 36 or 30. Yeah, about 30, 35, 36. Because I remember he was 44 when we went to go get beers one time after a match, and now he is, if I think I did my math correctly, he's 56, because he's 18 years older than me. But yeah, I just don't think I'm ready yet, and also, if I give up my spot, I have to give up my keys, and then I have to give up the opportunity to go in there and use that selfishly as it sounds, use it as a playground for my kids. And they like going in there, and I wish I could take them there more often, but I don't. And that's a goal of mine. I'd like to. I would love to have kids that are gym rats, that are just in there all the time, playing or not playing, but it's just like a sport or something, but just they're in there and they're comfortable with it. And then, when you get comfortable with your surroundings, you're apt to do more things. So what if they played volleyball and basketball in there? That would be sick. But who knows? But yeah, then, you don't just get to keep your keys anymore. Those keys are a hot commodity to our gym these days, and I think even if you lose one, it's hard to even get them back, or get a pair back. So yeah, I don't know. And I do know. I'm so grateful that I have something that I'm passionate about, that I enjoy, and then it's too bad I don't make like any money off of it, but it's something that I look forward to, and there's pride in it. And if I was ever to take the program to a place where we were able to hang a banner, just that would be worth all the time spent doing it. And you know what? It's worth it even without the time, because I'm starting to realize that the journey is more important than the outcome, and that I think people are going to look back in appreciation and gratitude and look at how much fun they had because of all the games leading up to maybe the pressure situation of the finals or the end or a rivalry match, you know. And if they had a good time and we grinded and we went for it, not so much what the end outcome would be. Yeah. And it's looking like my team's going to be pretty well rounded at this point, and I'll be able to send plenty of kids in. And you know what? I think it's got to be that way, and I think confidence breeds confidence. And if everyone's going in and feeling like they're part of a successful situation, I think we're just going to get that much better, and it's going to keep them on their toes in practice. See who really wants to start, and also who's dependable to come off the bench and do something about it. All too many times people come off the bench and they were there for a reason. It's because they aren't dependable and they weren't producing. And it's just high school. It's just high school volleyball, which doesn't mean we can't just go hard, but I think I have to remember it as it's just a thing that some kids do, and they're not at the same passion level as the coaches, myself, at the moment, and that's okay. I have to be okay with that. And I think in years past, and I definitely know this last season on the girls' side, which we just concluded, it kind of rubbed me the wrong way that they weren't more into it or upset about it. And I kind of thought we had a group that was super like ready to go deep and hang a banner, but it looks like only a couple of them were, and it's disappointing, but it is what it is. And it seems like if you're only born with that competitive mentality and that grind, or you're not. Sure, some people could probably learn it and follow along, but maybe we just didn't have the right ones on the top. So it's cool. I'm putting more stock into the journey and enjoying my time on this earth, because it's gonna end one day. And my wife's grandfather passed this morning at about 5:30, and he was 94 or 95 years old, and that's awesome that someone can live that long. But what was his passion, and did he enjoy most every one of his days, and was all those days of all those years, were they enjoyed? And I can definitely look back and say I've kind of pissed away a few days here or there, and it's, you know, I think it's disappointing to say, but I can make a change today, you know, a few days into my 38th cycle, or what is it, the start of my 39th? I don't know, where I feel like I'm close to halfway through my life, and I'm pretty proud of the fact that I've pretty much always worked since I've gotten out of college, and that I have someone, and I have 3 children, and that my bloodline is gonna move on, and I will be remembered by at least my 3 children and my wife, but that I've got to we've all got it. We got to enjoy like each part of the day, you know, and that's got to be the part of the day that's spent in doing things that you're super passionate about. And you know, I for whatever reason I'm in a situation where a majority of my day is spent in a job, and that is okay. I guess I wasn't brave enough to figure out what I was passionate about early enough to try and make that into a career where I was doing it all day and I was getting paid. And I'm coming to terms with that, and that's okay most days. Some days I beat myself up and I'm depressed about it, and I feel weak about it, but most days I'm okay with it. But I want to I'm not ready to give up the program that I lead. Granted, I don't think I do it super great and that I'm not the most terrible one, but it's been relatively successful, and I think most kids have a good time. But you know, at least I can point to something and say that I like that and I'm passionate about it, and I've done it this is going on my 13th year, and I like it. I'm proud of the results that I've been able to get, and there's been so many good times along the way. And I think that's what I have to show for it. I don't have a banner, but I do have, you know, there was a lot of good times along the journey, and that's something I can look forward to and look back on and appreciate. But also, now there's another season upon us, and just more enjoyment for each day and doing something that I like. I think some people will go their whole lives and not know what they like. And you know, the best situation is when those two fields merge, where you can get paid and it's something that you like to do. And for me, it's always been kind of one of the big ones has always revolved around sports. I just love to watch competition. I like to play also, and I just knew that volleyball was for me pretty much a minute after I saw the first indoor match, and I just knew it just looked like so much fun, and I knew it was for me. And I'm excited that I'm still in it, and I had no opportunity other than the one that was given to me, and I've tried not to squander them, and I'm still doing it. I just want my kids to have something like that too. And I think I'm now understanding it doesn't matter that I have girls, because everything that boys do they can be passionate about, girls can do it also. And so I'm excited to see what comes in the future for them. I'm real excited to see them figure it out and find something that they want to keep going back to each day and learning about more each day, and just digging into the little crevices and details of what they love. And I still feel like I've got such a ways to go in volleyball, and learning all the nuances and all the little things. And yeah, I think if I can just vocalize, and if my wife and we can just vocalize how important we would like them to be happy each day doing something they love, versus settling and just figuring it out a way to make money each day. And at the base of survival, if all we need is shelter, food, and water, there's a lot of that out there. And I would like to facilitate a environment where my kids can feel comfortable, that they can pursue their passions if all they really need is shelter, food, and water, and that they're not like super reliant on us financially to literally need cash day in and day out. I think there's a difference between like spoiling your kids and like giving them cash and giving them all the things that they want, versus if like I'm gonna allow you the opportunity to live rent free, and you can always have any of the food in our fridge and any of the drink in our fridge, but if that's what you need to pursue what you're doing, it's really there's just so many layers of being a parent I was just unaware of, really. And I was helping my 6-year-old read this morning, and it's a frustrating situation for her because I can tell she doesn't like it. I know how important it is, but I also know how important it is not to force them to do anything they don't want to do, but reading such an important skill for anything you want to do. And I've just got such a short temper with the reading situation, and I think just academics in general. And I can remember my dad helping me with math and kind of having the shortness too, like that he was just impatient, really, and couldn't like figure out why I couldn't figure it out the way he was sending the information when he was helping me. And if I didn't find that super helpful, and so I'm, I know it's not, but then why am I, and it's just, once again, being a parent is tough work because you have to be so patient and calm, in my opinion. And I haven't been, and a little disappointed in myself. And so that's another thing I want to emphasize in my daily journey, is that I'm taking the time to be calm and help my children, because it's just it can't be easy to or helpful to be taught in a like aggressive or impatient way, and I know that. And I mean, for the 1 of 100 kids where that does help, I've figured out that that's not my children. So that's another part of each day, part of the journey, that to enjoy, and I want to enjoy their own successes. And there's so much reminding yourself of what you're doing to help them. And they're with us most of all the time, and so we have to be the ones setting the example. And if we're like impatient and aggressive, then that's might be what they're doing too. Aggressive in demeanor. I'm not talking about physically. Like, I've never touched my children, never laid a hand on them, and it's just reading. Sound the words out. And you know what? Some people, it's not that easy to just make a sound and make them all go together. There's got to be a lot of practice, and a lot of it's memorization. And I'm just having impatience, and I need to be way more patient. That's literally is the name of the game with kids. I'm realizing is patience, and more patience, and then more patience, and them seeing that your passion is true. And so layers, a lot of layers. But it's part of the journey it's so worth it each day, when they give you that little smile, or their smirk, or they make a joke, or they do something right, or they say this is fun, or they're giggling, or they're laughing, and they're chasing each other around, and they're playing. And it's got nothing to do with nothing to do with what you do or not do, and it's just they're just enjoying the moment and the fun that is coming out of, and it's like they're, you want them to look back and remember enjoying their young life, and they can be learning stuff at the same time. What the fuck, really? Yeah. And it's not like, as a kid, they're ever being like, oh my gosh, I just learned that? I don't remember. No, you just, everything is just learned by doing and just walking and breathing and talking and writing and reading. They do it enough times. It's just, I know it would be so much more helpful if it was done in a positive, calm way. It's hard to remember to do that all the time, at least for me. And I know that all these episodes, I feel like a common theme or a common tone is there's a lot of complaining and whining and bitching and moaning on my part. And you know what? It is, but it's been therapeutic for me, and this must be what it feels like to go to a shrink and just talk about stuff and get it off your chest. And I've not bit the bullet and actually gone and done that yet, because I don't want to. I know it's gonna be I'm gonna have all this self-loathing, and I'm gonna feel bad because I have low self-esteem, and I just don't want to do that to myself. I guess I'm just not ready just yet. Because you don't go to the shrink and talk about other people, really. I've got to believe, and what I've been led to believe all these years is that it's focused around you, and you talk about you, and you go through your own issues and insecurities and anxieties and all that. And the reason why I find myself always trying to listen to or do something is I just don't want to be alone with my thoughts and rehash all the things that I kind of wish I had done or didn't do, or I just wish I would have taken all the things that I've thought that would be cool to do or seem fun, or I'm sure I would have had the guts to do all of them and find out, okay, well, this ain't for me, or at least tried to do them more than once or twice or something. And I don't think everybody does ever have the guts to do all the things all the time, but I don't know, I guess I wish I just would have pursued more things to see if the passion for those was there. And then one day you wake up and you're 38 and you kind of say, like, where did the time go? And it's seemed really long, but it's also seemed like it's just in the blink of an eye. And it, as a parent, it hits you when you see a picture of your kid and they're making some face that looks just like you or your wife, or they say